because you're so used to having instructions. And that's psychological warfare that was ingrained in these religions to begin with, and they're doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna, and today we are talking about why spirituality seems so scary to some people. Actually, to a lot of people. Too many people for me. When it comes to spirituality and religion, a lot of people, most people, think that you have to choose between one or the other. When actually there's a lot of examples of spirituality and new age practices that are mentioned in the Bible all throughout the Bible, including manifestation, crystals, spiritual gifts. To me, spirituality is no scarier than religion, especially Christianity and Catholicism, because if I went into a church and I was a kid and I seen a unalived man hanging from a cross with nails in his arms and feet and bloody and looked like he haven't ate in I don't know how many days, I would be scared of that. And I feel bad for all the kids that had to go look at that growing up in church. I went to a Catholic church for the first time ever in my life recently because I was working on a movie, and I saw the whole thing. Like, I saw the whole statue, and it just looked like he was so defeated, and it just didn't feel right. Like, the energy of that does not feel right. And the fact that y'all wear the cross as a symbol, it feels like you're representing something dark, which y'all think that spiritual people do. Another scary thing about religion is that people that are higher up in religion, such as the preachers, the pastors, a lot of them have been known to do evil and sinister things, including messing with children. Everybody knows that this is a generational thing in the Catholic system. This is something that is very common, to where there are TV shows that make jokes about it.
Today's gospel talks about what the Lord has to give us. He did so because we could not control our temptations.
Kind of like a priest in a room full of naked boys.
And it's just like a known thing in the world. Everybody knows about the priest and the history of that. And then, especially now, but this has been going on for years, but there are so many pastors in the Christian church who are taking money from their congregation and using it to buy lavish things, have a lavish lifestyle, and mansions and private jets and clothes by brands that represent things that are not Christian. So these are the people that are deceiving. These are people that are more popular, that are more inclined to have people following them, and they're manipulating people on purpose. That's scary to me. And of course, there are spiritual people who manipulate and who deceive. Like, you don't have to identify as anything, and you can still manipulate, you can still deceive. I've seen and heard about more religious people deceiving and manipulating than I've heard about spiritual people. But it's just like how people can choose which denomination they want to follow, such as the Seventh-day Adventist, Baptist, Episcopal, all of that. Like, they can choose whichever church feels best for them, because they're gonna do things a little bit different, and they might not like how the Baptist churches do it, and they want to go to the Episcopal. I don't know anything about church, so if I'm saying something wrong, I'm sorry. I don't know. But I think these are different types of churches. Like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna go deep into that, but it does not have to be cut and dry. It does not have to be, oh, you're a Christian or you're not, or you believe in Jesus or you don't, and that's just it. There are different versions with different beliefs, and that's what spirituality is. Because there are plenty of spiritual people who still believe in Jesus, but they don't agree with everything that the Bible says, and that's fine. That's okay. So this next point is kind of like, it's weird, because when it comes to spirituality, people will generalize things, but then they will also complicate it at the same time. So for example, if you say I'm spiritual, or if you say I light incense, or I use crystals or whatever, they're going to automatically assume that you're doing witchcraft, that you're doing black magic, that you're putting spells on people, that you're worshiping crystals. They're going to assume all of that just because you say one thing that you do that is outside of religion. They're going to automatically think that if you do identify as a witch, then you're evil. They think that witchcraft is inherently evil. They're going to assume that everybody is just unaliving animals, or you're putting a hex on people and you're doing all of this evil stuff, when I would say most witches, because a witch is somebody who does anything to do with using herbs and using regular nature things to get a result. They're going to think that everybody is doing those evil things, when in reality, most people are not doing those evil things. Most people don't use their energy to put hexes on people, because that takes a lot of energy and they're not worth it. So it's not just automatically bad. And that's what I hate. Like I said, with the pastors and the preachers, don't nobody automatically say Christianity is bad, because a lot of preachers and pastors have come out to be gay when they preach against it. We're not saying that it's wrong, but they turn out to be gay when they're preaching against it, or they're stealing money from the church, or they're using the money for selfish needs or wants. Nobody says that Christianity is all evil because of that. So just because there are certain people who are doing bad, that doesn't make the whole organization as a whole bad. They automatically think about Ouija boards. I don't want nothing to do with a Ouija board. I don't need to use that. I don't want to use that. I don't want to allow demons into my energy. And you don't even need a Ouija board to do that, to be honest. People allow spirits into their bodies all the time, especially in church. What do you think speaking in tongues is? Being a spiritual person could be as simple as meditating every day for 5 minutes. That is a spiritual practice that is not considered Christian or religious, but it has to do with energy and your spirit, your soul. With all of these new age to Jesus stories, I feel like those people always like deep dive into things, or they like get overwhelmed with spirituality because they're trying to be something that they think it's supposed to be. But you can just ease your way in. You don't have to go full force. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to follow what somebody else is following, because what works for them is not going to work for you always. Everybody has their own journey, and people don't think about that. You don't have to follow any rules. You go with what interests you, and you learn about it and you practice it. And then you keep going further to wherever it leads you. Not going everything at once. That's going to overwhelm anybody. That's like trying to read the Bible all at once. A big thing that also makes spirituality more scary for you is that we do create our own reality. So if you hear somebody say that spirituality is evil, everything's demonic, yoga's demonic, crystals are demonic, blah, blah, blah.
Mediums are demonic. Tarot cards are demonic. Yoga is demonic.
And you believe that in your head, you're going to see more things that's going to confirm that to you. People can be pushed in any way if you say the right words to them, if you say it the right way. It's psychology. So if you think that spirituality is evil, then you're going to see more of proof that spirituality is evil. And that's going to make it more valid for you, when that's not true for everybody. That's just true for you. This is called the reticular activating system. A huge scary factor about spirituality for people, which they don't realize, is that spirituality leaves you to use your own mind. And most people do not know how to do this. It forces you to question who you really are, and people don't know who they really are. So it's like when they get in that mindset, they start to panic, and then they go follow what somebody else is doing. And then when it doesn't work for them, they just denounce the whole thing. And I understand it is something that is intimidating because we've been taught who we are our whole lives. We've been told what to do, what to like, what to think our whole lives. So it's like when you get outside of that, it's going to be uncomfortable. And when you find people that feel the same way, then it's just going to be easy to push against the truth. But then again, like I said, you have your own truth. And if that's the case, then be all out with that. Don't dibble and dabble. Don't say that you're a Christian, but every weekend you're going to the club. And it's like, okay, Jesus died for our sins, but since he did, I'm still going to sin. Like, that's not the point. That's going against the whole, it's just so many contradictions. And you're forcing yourself to be somebody that is not natural to you. So it's never going to work because that's not you. That's not what your spirit wants. That's not what your spirit truly believes. Okay, so when I mentioned the New Age to Jesus stories, people will scare you back into religion. And it's like you'll be intrigued in something for a reason, and then you'll start exploring that. And then you have a guilty conscience because your whole life you've been taught that this is wrong. Christianity is the only one true way to go. So in your subconscious mind, you're thinking that this is wrong. So when you start to do the spiritual things, your subconscious mind is going to find things to remind you that this is wrong because that's what you've known your whole life. But at the same time, when these people scare you back to religion, you cannot follow the rules. You cannot resonate with everything that they're telling you. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. You try to go back, but it's not for you because everybody has their own journey and everybody has their own truth. It could be a mixture of Christian beliefs and Christian morals, but also lighting a candle to have peace as a peace ritual or anything, meditation, yoga, anything. It could be a mix of these things that are for you. But because people are scaring you back and saying this is wrong, you're not supposed to do this, then you're going to shut it out completely. But it's like if I'm a psychic medium, how am I supposed to suppress my gifts because it's a sin? It's divination. What are prophets? Are they not doing divination? So I want y'all to know that there is no cut and dry way to be spiritual, unlike Christianity or any other religion. There is no handbook. There is no set of rules. There is no you have to anything. Everything comes directly from God. And people don't know how to tap into that because it doesn't feel comfortable, because you're so used to having instructions. And that's psychological warfare that was ingrained in these religions to begin with, and they're doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Have your own mind, have your own beliefs, do what feels right to you, and don't let anybody else tell you what is supposed to feel right for you, because only you know that. So tell me down in the comments what religion you are, if you have a religion, or if you're spiritual, and why you chose to go that way. I'm very interested. I like having discussions. I'm open to discussions. And also let me know if there's anything else that I can discuss in this subject that you would like for me to talk about. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see y'all in the next one.